much for joining the news to be informed in Africa and the world. Let's open today's edition in Ivory Coast, where the Prime Minister Amadou Gon Coulibaly, the ruling party's candidate in the October presidential election, has returned home after a 2-month absence for medical treatment in France. On his arrival at the airport, Coulibaly said he is back to take his place by the side of the president to continue the task of developing and building their country, Ivory Coast. He was announced as the candidate for President Alassane Ouattara's party in early March after Ouattara ended months of speculation and said he would not seek a controversial third term. Billionaire tycoon Dan Getzler is reportedly trying to continue to do business in the Democratic Republic of Congo despite U.S. sanctions. Anti-corruption NGO Global Witness and the Platform to Protect Whistleblowers in Africa have published a report alleging a possible international money laundering network that let Getzler continue his activities. The company has highlighted in a report denying the accusations. They say their operations are legal and not linked to the international businessmen. Back in 2017, the U.S. Treasury slammed sanctions on Getzler, saying he has made his fortune through opaque and corrupt mining and oil deals. The revelation highlighted critical loopholes and lapses in international sanctions enforcement and anti-money laundering framework with lax banking regulations, lawyers, and corporate secrecy enabling the scheme. Key protest movement leaders in Algeria have been provisionally released in the run-up to the country's Independence Day on July 5. The court's decision came a day after Algerian President Abdelmadjid Tebboune granted amnesty to 6 other anti-government activists. Amnesty International, which lobbied for Tebboune's release, welcomed the good news in court and called for the immediate and unconditional release of all other prisoners of opinion held in Algeria. Tebboune is one of the most prominent known figures of Iraq, a movement that forced the downfall of longtime President Abdelaziz Bouteflika in April 2019. Jailed in September 2019, he was serving a 1-year sentence for an attack on the integrity of national territory, damaging the morale of the army in a trial which has been postponed until September 14. Protesters rallying against Africa's first coronavirus vaccine in South Africa have accused researchers of manipulating the vulnerable into volunteering for testing of Oxford University's coronavirus vaccine. A protest against the first trial broke out in Johannesburg on Wednesday. With burned face masks, protesters sang and danced carrying banners which read, "We are not guinea pigs, no safe vaccine," end of quote. They think it goes against all protocols and say it is a form of violation of a person's body. Around 2,000 people in South Africa are expected to take part in the trial, which began last week. The vaccine is also being tested in the UK, Brazil, and researchers say that it needs to be tested in Africa to ensure it is not affected by local conditions in the country. South Africa has over 151,000 confirmed cases, the most in Africa. And out of the African continent, the United States has reported more than 55,000 new COVID-19 cases, the largest daily increase any country has ever reported, according to a Reuters tally. The surge across the past week has put President Donald Trump's handling of the crisis under surveillance and led several governors to halt plans to reopen their states after strict lockdowns. New infections rose in 37 out of 50 U.S. states in the past 14 days compared with the 2 weeks prior in early June, report says. Florida reported the biggest increase of any state so far on Thursday, according to over 10,000 new cases in a single day, while testing rates have increased so has the percentage of positive results. Hospitalizations have also skyrocketed. Dr. Anthony Fauci, head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, warned earlier this week the daily increase in new U.S. cases could reach 100,000 without nationwide measures to slow the rate. Still in the U.S., with unanimous votes in both the House and Senate, the Congress has passed a bill rebuking China after they adopted a strict national security law widely seen as undermining Hong Kong's autonomy. The vote marked a rare consensus between Republicans and Democrats. The bill's main targets are financial institutions, which will face sanctions if they participate in implementing the new Chinese law. It also imposes direct sanctions on police identified as cracking down on Hong Kong protesters. The U.S. sanction follows swift diplomatic reaction from several other countries to the Hong Kong national security law. The UK and Thailand have already said they will extend political sanctions to those living in Hong Kong. All this has provoked a sharp reaction from Beijing, which said it would take strong countermeasures if the US sanctions was put into law. The US has already begun eliminating Hong Kong's special status, halting defense exports, and restricting the territory's access to high-tech products. And we end today in China, where again a new type of swine flu that could infect humans has been discovered by Chinese researchers. The disease, which researchers call the G4 virus, is genetically descended from the H1N1 swine flu that caused a pandemic in 2009. Some pig farmers, 10 in numbers, are reported to have been infected. Veterinary doctors, however, say transmission between humans are less evident, making it the most important measure. As of now, it remains an alert, not an alarm, as the virus has been found early to allow virologists to swing into action, developing new specific tests for this particular flu virus. That's it. Thank you very much for watching the news. Don't go away. Programs continue on TBS television until we come your way. Do take care and stay safe.